Welcome to the Gallery and Museum Tour Show on the KJL Podcast Channel. I'm your host, Kenneth J. Sr., and this is Preparing for Multitudes. This episode is about the journey behind the show, the building, the layering, the choices, the energy that fills the canvas before it ever finds its place on the gallery wall. What you'll see are glimpses into my process, moments of stillness and moments of intensity, where the paintings twist and turn, giving way to discoveries I didn't always expect. We begin with Delineation, 4 paintings born through lines that appear, dissolve, and return again. The time-lapse captures not just brushstrokes, but the tug-of-war between chaos and order, as shapes flicker in and out of memory until the balance emerges. From there, we drift into architectural daydreams, restless, surreal landscapes where houses lean into ladders, flowers sprout beside windows, and colors spill in ways they were never meant to. The scenes are expressive and alive with imagination, unfolding into 2 pieces, one part of multitudes and another, a larger work, waiting for future exhibitions. Then comes Ephemeral Glow. This series is about time, fragility, and a fleeting light that holds us. A candle flickers to life, an hourglass gathers form, each layer carrying the weight of something both delicate and eternal. Alongside them are glimpses of glowing clocks, symbols of how time slips quietly through our lives, seen here not in motion, but in stillness. And finally, the Luggage series, 9 works without time lapse, but filled with their own quiet power. Each piece, a vessel carrying a memory and a movement, holding the invisible weight of journeys past and journeys still to come. They speak without showing their making, just the finished presence, heavy with story. From the first brushstroke to the final hanging, you'll see the packing, the handling of each piece, ending with a full sweep across the gallery walls. This is Preparing for Multitudes, a weaving of 4 series, each with its own voice, each offering its own perspective. What you'll see is only a glimpse, the living, breathing process that leads to the exhibition itself.
watching KJL Podcast Channel, home of Art with Kenneth, where he paints live, share techniques, and talks all things art. The Art History Show, highlighting legendary artists from the past and their lasting impact. The Muse Unveiled Show Experience, where real people become timeless works of art. Don't miss the Gallery and Museum Tour Show, taking you through inspiring exhibitions and creative spaces across the country. Join us monthly for coffee, tea, paint and sip, a relaxed, hands-on event at the KJL Art Sanctuary. Commissioned accepted, and now is the perfect time to begin your journey as a collector. Want to support the channel? Tap the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description. Plan your visit to the KJL Art Sanctuary Gallery and Studio at 310 4th Street, Ewing, New Jersey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the KJL Podcast Channel, where art dwells, breathes, and inspires. Now back to the show.
Hi, this is artist Kenneth J. Sr., and welcome to another KJL Art Sanctuary Gallery and Studio Tour Show. Today, we're going to be talking about my episode, Multitudes, at the Capitol Health Hospital. Today, I have with me Tara Burns. She's the curator, one of her many positions with the Capitol Health Foundation. And it's the Healing Arts Program, Investor Bank Art and Healing Gallery. I'm so happy that they gave me the opportunity to exhibit my art. Tara, tell us a little bit about the gallery.
Sure. So first of all, thank you for having me. One of my roles, like you mentioned, is I curate shows for our Healing Arts Gallery. We have our gallery is located on the second floor of Capitol Health Medical Center in Hopewell. We have about 3 to 4 shows a year. So we look to find artists in the area that are willing to allow us to show their beautiful work for a few months. And a portion of the proceeds goes back towards our Healing Arts program.
Awesome. Awesome. That's beautiful. And it's a beautiful space. It's beautiful,
really
as you'll see in the video. So how does the Capitol Health Healing Arts Program support patients, families, staff, and what role does art play in the healing process?
So, I think a healing arts program at a hospital is really important. I think Capitol Health does a really good job with the program itself. I'm new to the hospital. I've been here about a year.
Awesome.
But we have art throughout the entire facility. And then we do have, as you mentioned, our art gallery, which is a beautiful space. It's located, as you've seen, on the second floor of the hospital, and it overlooks the atrium, which has floor-to-ceiling windows. It lets the natural sunlight in. It's just the perfect space to showcase art, and it really, I think it does a really good job creating that warm, inviting atmosphere that patients and families really need.
It does, because I really got that feel from there. I stood by the atrium and I looked over there and I looked at those windows, and actually you'll see it in the video. I actually ran the video across so you can see that section that she's talking about right now. It's going to come up later in the video.
And we also, which just adds to the experience, we have volunteer pianists who come and play throughout the day and when we have our opening receptions. So it really adds to the whole.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I was amazed when I came there, and I was just so happy and grateful to be able to exhibit there. As a curator, what do you look for when you're selecting the artists and the exhibitions for the space, and how do you envision art interacting with the hospital environment?
I personally curate with the hope of healing, connecting, and providing that respite that someone may need, whether they're a father who just gave birth to their first baby and they need a moment to just, decompress, or a surgeon who just, went through a 7-hour stressful surgery and he walks by the art and, he can just take that time for himself. I just think, for different people and what they're going through, it can offer many different healing things.
And I think that's really great, because everything you said, I actually experienced hanging the artwork. There was a guy that was waiting for someone that was, I don't know if they were in surgery, but someone was there. Then you had a person that came visiting someone, and they stopped up and said something to me. So it does what you're saying. Even a doctor stopped and was like, oh, I got to come back out here when you get it all set up.
Yep.
So it is so true.
No, people really enjoy it.
Yes, I could tell.
It's wonderful. Just recently, I came across a social post of a daughter who made this beautiful reel. She took her mother to the hospital for her cancer treatment. So they came to the cafeteria at Hopewell. They had lunch by the waterfall. They took a walk outside. We have like beautiful gardens right off that cancer center entrance. They ended up taking a few walks to see like the art installations that we have, and they came across a flyer for our current art exhibition that was up. So they took a elevator ride upstairs to the second floor, and they showed the mom just staring at the art and really intently feeling a connection to the art. And afterwards, you know, like in her comments, she described the mom just saying that she forgot she was at the hospital because it was such an inviting and comfortable and, you know, space.
Yes.
So, you know, it's not often we get to hear those stories and how impactful the art can be for patients. So I'm really grateful. I scrolled and came upon that post. It was nice.
Awesome. Yeah. So what personally inspires you about working with art in a healthcare setting?
Well, I absolutely love getting to know people. And I feel like in this position, I have really gotten to know a lot of incredible people with really interesting stories. Something I find really interesting is that a lot of people, how their path to finding their craft and art. For you, for example, at 47 years old, that's not something you hear very often. So, you know, some people find it through healing, you know, from a bad marriage or a drug addiction or, you know, some sort of struggle that they're having, and they turn to art and then it becomes their passion. And that to me is just incredibly inspiring.
That's beautiful because it is. So for me personally, I've always loved art, and I started at 47, but I've always loved art. But I never tried to do it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna play sport.
Like that wasn't your thing growing up as a child. Like that's incredible.
Nothing. Yeah. I was a stone cold jock. When you first saw my exhibition, what struck you most, and how do you feel the work connects with the themes of healing and reflection? Like, and you can be honest.
Oh my gosh, the vibrant colors, without a doubt. I think your show especially it's perfect for that space because people, you know, it's like a punch in the face of color and strength, and that's at least what I get from your show. And the bold black frames that you use, I think you did a really nice job with your use of color, and I also love the way you have a few different series. So it gives people an opportunity to connect to, you know, maybe if this isn't something that they connect with, you know,
exactly,
they can with other pieces.
Awesome. You know, lastly, I want to ask you, Larry Hilton, who just recently passed, was someone that referred the hospital to me. He's one of my patrons and a great supporter of the arts, a really good person, and I really miss Larry. And so that's how I was able to come in contact with the hospital. So if someone else may be interested in exhibiting at Capitol Health, how would they go about that?
So they would contact the hospital, the foundation, and it happens honestly usually when we're having shows. Some patients that happen to be artists will, you know, see the art gallery and they'll ask, you know, how do I display art here? And we try to do as much promotion of our shows as possible. But if anyone is interested, they would just need to reach out to me. You know, we do a vetting process, of course. We pass yours, by the way. It's always great to have a referral from someone like Larry. We were fortunate enough to find you, but you know, basically they just need to reach out to us, and then we do a little bit of research to make sure it's a good fit for the hospital. You know, we work with large organizations. We also work with individual artists. So, for instance, you did a show with all of your work, perhaps you don't have enough art for the entire to fill the gallery, we can, combine different artists and put together, a theme so that you can still have the opportunity to showcase your work.
Awesome. That's beautiful. So I don't think I have anything else that I can add to this. Tara did such a great job. It was a pleasure working with you in the hospital. I really enjoyed coming there. And listen, you all, the video is about to come next. I'm going to show you me bringing the artwork to the hospital, hanging the artwork at the hospital, and then you'll get to see the artwork up on the wall. And thanks again for tuning in to Art Gallery and Museum Tour Show on the KJL Podcast Channel. Thank you again, Tara, for again coming and doing this interview. Thank you for the opportunity to exhibit.
It was fun.
Yes, and it was fun for me as well.